Hey, this is Politics with Laura. I got a good one for you today. Okay. I'm going to have to go back to the 1980s in order to lay down the foundation to make some semblance of my theory that I think I can loosely connect these mass shootings with what's going on right now with the guns. Let me back up for a second. Let me start with 1980. Give me about a minute. Please. See it through so you can get an understanding. Okay, make sure you watch this video to the end. Okay. Alright. In the 1980s, called the Iran-Contra Gate, the Iran Gate, there was a political climate of the resurgence of communism. So, there's a doctrine called the Reagan Doctrine or the Boland Doctrine. And at that time, the Democrats, the Republicans have taken over the Democrats, and at that time it was getting ready to flip again. So, here, the Reagan Doctrine. Where is it at? I'm sorry. Soon after taking control of Congress, the Democrats passed the Boland Amendment, which restricts the activity of the CIA and the DoD, the Department of Defense, in foreign conflicts. The amendment was specifically aimed at Nicaragua, where anti-communist Contra were battling the communist Sandinista government. Reagan had described the Contras as a moral equivalent to the Founding Fathers, but much of their funding to that point had come via Nicaragua's cocaine trade, hence Congress' decision to pass the Boland Amendment. And that was when, as I stated in an earlier video, to where the trains in the 1980s were unattended in LA. They left guns and bullets along with cocaine in a train that was not locked or protected. And somehow they came across this information and took it, and next thing you know, shooting and the drugs started happening in LA. That's how they funded what was going on down there. Okay. This is nothing new. So let me take you up to this. Right here. This other article called "The Serial Train Robber Gets 10 Years in Gun Thefts from Chicago Rail Yards." This wasn't only in LA. This was all over. Now here, I'm going to look at a small portion of it. Here, the prosecutor told Tuesday sentencing their little knowing about active criminal subculture that targets trains passing through the nation's #1 rail hub. Christopher Parente said, some railways write it off as the cost of doing business. So they're stealing from these trains and they write it off. Scary. And that happened in, when was it? 2008. I'm sorry. On April 12th, 2015, Shelter 43 of Riverdale and several acquaintances burglarized a cargo train while it was parked overnight at a rail yard in Chicago's Avalon Park neighborhood. The cargo train was route from Rutgers Factory in New Hampshire to Spokane, Washington. The thieves broke the lock on the train and walked off with approximately 111 firearms, federal prosecutors said. And that was 2015. Hold on. Hold on, it gets better. Now, here's, listen to this. Here in Boston reports, Los Angeles, Associated Press, dozens of handguns and shotguns were among items stolen by thieves who raided a cargo train or a cargo container aboard trains near downtown Los Angeles for months, authorities said. The police arrested 3 people last summer carrying new .22 caliber handguns, the Los Angeles Times reported Saturday. A trace of the weapon revealed they came from a batch of 38 handguns reported missing as they were being shipped by a train to Tennessee, officials said. One of the suspects said the handguns came from a cargo train in LA's Lincoln Heights rail yards, where widespread thefts have been reported. Shortly afterward, the LA police and the Bureau of Alcohol and Tobacco and Firearms and Explosives arrested 2 other suspects with shotguns, and those weapons were determined to be a part of the missing shipment of 46 shotguns at the time. Now, I say all that to say this. There is a lot to these shootings, especially the one out there in Chicago, where these guns are coming from. They're being flooded. And this is nothing new. I believe, and this is just simply my belief, nothing that I can prove, but something that I think, is that this has a lot to do to push to do away with the Second Amendment. Now, keep in mind, the Boland Act was to restrict the CIA activity from Nicaragua. It didn't say anything about the United States. Just a thought in my head. Department of Defense to restrict their activities in Nicaragua. That's it. The only aim was Nicaragua. It never mentioned the United States. It's quite interesting how all of this is falling to what's going on today. There's most definitely, again, a political climate for communism. Communism was over in Russia, but now it's right in our backyard. That is what's going on in my head. I'm not saying it's true. I'm saying there might be a there, there might be a there, or there just might be a there. I can't prove anything that I'm saying, but to me it makes a whole lot of sense. What do you think? If you like my content, please like, subscribe. If you think I'm completely wrong, subscribe, like, and then tell me why you think I'm right, or subscribe, dislike, and tell me why I'm wrong. I would love to hear your comments. I want to thank you for stopping by.